try to make this as quick as I can to not lose your attention or your attention span. This will be the greatest conspiracy that's ever happened. So, everything is here. We can talk to each other from miles away. We can fly. We can make magic. We call it chemistry, science, metallurgy, electrical engineering, whatever. So now we're here. We are in the time of times. And yet, what is happening? Look outside. Look at your phone on the news. Look everywhere. Look at all the people and look at what they're doing. Look at me now. It's all the same shit. We are all trying to get other people to believe something. But what? What is the thing? There isn't. There's no one thing that people want other people to believe. In the end, it's just the same concept, which is we as a society have come from all of these other cultures and societies. Globally, I mean, and also locally in our different places that we live. But we have stemmed from all of that. We've come from all of that. And yet we don't seem to be able to see it. And it's because the past is reframed. It's constantly reframed. You can't understand what it's like for anyone living back in the past because the way that we interpret the past is different than how it was. Like 100 years ago, people thought different things. 50 years ago, people thought different things. 30, 20, 10, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, people thought different things. And on the majority, they're wrong. And it's because the majority doesn't need to be right. They're there to be led astray. You are here on YouTube to be led in a certain direction, whether that's to be lulled to sleep by fucking YouTube music and lightning sounds, or to get just voices on voices pounding your ears and making you forget like everything. But you aren't here for other people to tell you what it is. You're here to experience what it is for you. So the greatest conspiracy is that you ever had to try to figure it out. That there was ever anything to figure out. Because there's not. It's just you. And it's all these other people. But none of the other people and what they're doing or going through really matters. What they think about it or anything. And that's the conspiracy, is that in some way or another, our egos try to convince us that we know best when we don't. We don't know the best. It's beyond us. And so when we open ourselves up to the beyond and we go, hey, I don't know, can you help me? And you just admit, like, I don't fucking know. Then the universe helps you. The clouds open up and the sunshine pours down. But the world doesn't ask for mercy. It asks to be insane and yet judge other people for being insane. You watch movies, everyone's watched movies their entire lives, and why? It's because there are concepts, there are ideas, there's beliefs that need to be manifested, that need to be demonstrated in order to convince you of something. That life looks a certain way, that things should be a certain way, that you have lines, and if you fuck them up and you're awkward, that makes you a bad actor. None of that is real. Everything that's real is right in front of you. And when you move around, when you walk somewhere different, and you look around, like that's what's real. But the stuff in your head, the way that the language within ourselves is false. And so no matter what we try to do, we can never convey the truth. And so the best that we can do is live our truth. And by living our truth, we give other people permission, so to speak, but the permission isn't just to do the right thing. The permission is to make mistakes and grow up. And in a world where there's an increasing amount of regulation and wanting to convince other people that things are true, we need to take a really deep breath as a whole, as a people, and look at what we've been doing to ourselves for the past just 3 years. Individually and collectively, we have not done right by ourselves. And to the ones of us that believe they've done their best, I'm sure they've done well. I'm sure you've done well. But unless you're not on YouTube just looking for random shit, like, unless you are spending every second of your time how you want to, one day you're not gonna have the chance. And there's gonna be a long list of people that you're gonna go down and try to blame. But at the end of it, the last name is always yours. So gotta end the conspiracy. It's not anyone else. Everyone wants to be right, including you, including me. And the darkest part of ourselves is willing to inflict that on others. And the weakest part of ourselves is willing to allow others to inflict it on ourselves. But what you want isn't what you need, because you've been taught to want things that you don't need. So before you can do anything else, you have to figure out how, if you can, how to listen to yourself. Because it's not just you. You're sifting through everything that everyone has ever said, everything that has ever been done. That's within you. You are everything, the totality of existence, the tippy tip point of the spear of evolution on the arrow of time, flying through infinity. And all of these other people are the same, except they're not you. And a lot of them aren't anymore whoever they were before, whoever they may have wanted to be. But you're not bound by anything that anyone else thinks. You are a recombination of everything that has ever been done. So the greatest conspiracy is that anyone ever told you anything at all about what you could be, about what you are, about what you're doing. In the end, we're all much more than we can understand. And it's up to us to commit and have faith that it will make sense eventually. But it's not your place to understand it as much as it is to embrace it. Because what you are, as much as it isn't in your decision, or it's not voluntary, there are a few things that are completely your decision. And that is your willingness to decide what comes next and to commit to believing in that thing, no matter what it is. And your expression of faith is always limited to how much you believe in yourself. So no matter what religion you go for, no matter what scientific or moral principles you believe in, that any of them, all of it, only comes down to how much you believe in yourself. And if you don't listen to yourself, if you don't understand that we shut ourselves out as much as we can to avoid the hard conversations, then you won't realize that the hardest conversations might be pushed back to a day that you have other things to do. So I guess, I don't know if you get it by now, but there's nothing here. There's nothing on this whole fucking internet that's worth anything as much as you should be worth to yourself. Because once you have that, once you trust that, once you know that, then everything is yours. Everything is you. And you're not bound by anything ever again. But until that day, just remember that it's not your fault. That there's a lot of noise. And it takes a lot of quiet and a lot of peace to counteract all of the pain and all of the trauma. So Good luck. And I'll see you on the other side.